would be like to bother someone and like get under their skin and be annoying. Emotional attachment. That one's a deep topic. Emotional attachment is just to be like attached to someone, like, you know, you guys know what emotions are, right? Like happy, sad, you know, etc. And then like emotional attachment in particular has to do with like bonding. So you can have like an emotional attachment to like an animal, right? Like you feel with the animal. You see the animal get hurt, you feel like you're hurt because you're emotionally attached to them. You see the animal jumping around, you want to jump around, right? You're like emotionally attached to them. So that's just one example of like how you can be, it could be with people or really anything, right? Of you like, you feel with that other thing or person. How to pronounce it? Maybe that's something else. I'll just move on. Here and here, pronounce the same way. Here and here. The first one means to hear with your ears. The second one means we're here right now. We're in this place here. Here and here. Sweet and sweat. That's a good one because EA usually is the E sound. The first one is sweet. Something tastes sweet, or someone is sweet. The second one is sweat. I went for a run and now I'm sweating. Sweet and sweat. Sorry, my computer's not working. Here we go. Fool and full. Oh, these ones are very close. So fool, F-O-O-L. Yes, fool, like you're an idiot. You're a fool. And the second one, full, F-U-L-L, full. So fool, ool, and full, Next one. What's the difference between literally and genuinely? Literally means like word for word, like scene for scene, action for action. Like this is literally what happened, or this is what they literally said, like quote almost. And it can be for words or it can be like for actions of like my students literally took a practice test today, right? They literally did that. There's no question about it. It was for real. Genuinely, it's very similar, but it's more used in the context of like being genuine, like genuinely, like having some sort of heart behind what you're doing. Like I genuinely want to hear what you have to say. Like my heart's open to you. I genuinely appreciate how you took care of my nephew. Like genuinely more has to do with like your heart and being grateful and thankful and like what you believe and think versus like a quote of what was said or like scene for scene of what happened. Literally is more like objectively here's what happened or was what said, and genuinely is more like here's how I feel and I really do feel this. Good question.
So what about the meaning of like literally me? It is literally me. Like,
You guys asked me this one the other day. Literally me. So do you mean literally me like M-E?
yes, and in me. It is me, like literally.
Like do people say this at like the end of a sentence? Like that's literally me.
Yes, like that.
Yes. Okay. That's just say like, so for example, like you see someone like trip on the stairs and you're like, that's literally me, right? Like they're just saying that's me too. I trip all the time, right? Like my colleague comes in and is like, I forget why I walked into your classroom. Like literally me. I do that every day, right? Like, so we just kind of use it as like, I do that too. I identify with that. I've experienced that experience. What about warm and worm? So the first one, W-A-R-M, is warm. The second one is worm. It's very worm. Those ones are very close. warm and worm. Warm is being, hot. Worm is a little creature that crawls on the ground. Night and night. They're pronounced the same way. We don't say knight, although that would be fun. It's just night and night. Nighttime, like dark outside, and night, like, your knight in shining armor comes and rescues you, at least in American fairy tales. Right and right, pronounced the same way. You are right. Aren't people always right? Not always. And right, like I'm writing a story. How to pronounce? Okay, between 12, 13, 14, okay, 20. So 12 is 12, and 20. I always want it, because like I'm trying to overpronounce things so that you guys can really hear it. So I always want to say the T, but you don't say the T. So for 20, you just say 20. You don't say the T, you don't say 20, it's just 20, 20. 13, 13, 13, and third D, there's no T sound. So 13 and third D. 14, 14, and 4D, 4D. So 14, 4D. And then same thing with like 15, 50, 16, 6D, right? 17, 7D. We do that all the way up, let's see, 18, AD, 19, 9D. Yeah, for all the Ds, or like the 9D, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, it's all D sounds. But then it's like 11, 12, 13, 14, we like pronounce the T's. Yeah, good question. Steal and still. Good question. So the first one, S-T-E-A-L, is steal. Really like draw that E sound out. Steal. And then the second one's just still. The I sound. So still. Steal and still. Heart and hurt. We did this one, but I'll do it again. Heart and hurt. So the first one's R, heart, and hurt, So heart and hurt. Your heart, and then you broke your arm, it's hurt. Yep. The next one, whoa, my mouse, is do and do. They're pronounced exactly the same. Do and do, the dew on the flowers, and do this. 4 and 4 are pronounced exactly the same. 4 is the number 4, and 4 is like 4. So do and 4 and 4. The next one here, sun and some. Interesting. So the first sounds are the same, the end is different.
What about S-O-N, sun?
Say it again.
S-O-N.
Oh, got it. Yeah, no worries. Sun and sun, they're pronounced exactly the same. So S-O-N is sun, like your son. Yeah, like the father's child. Or mother's child, I suppose, too. And then sun, S-U-N, is just the sun shining in the sky. They're pronounced the same, sun. Keep it going. How to pronounce light and right. Okay, so light and right, and then beach. And y'all always make me say these cuss words. I don't appreciate that very much. So the first one, light and right. And the second one, I had to say this last class too, is beach, the E sound, beach, and bitch. It's the I sound. So don't draw out and say beach, because they're not gonna, I mean, maybe they'll understand that you're calling them a name, but they might just be like, I'm not at the beach. It's bitch. Don't be calling people that. It's not nice. Every time I teach English, I've gotten to teach English. I got to go to a trip to Africa, and there too, they wanted to know all the cuss words, and I was like, you guys, why? But I told them, Differentiate the pronunciation of a word. Oh, good question. So word ending in EL versus LE. I don't think there is any difference. It's just a spelling difference. I think there's some history about like the development of the English language of why it's spelled a certain way, but it's just the old sounds, whether it's EL or LE. That's a good question. Okay, I'm trying to keep going. Okay, so for instance, model and model. Yeah, just model, but it would be spelled the first way. So I guess the only difference is spelling. There might be a phonics rule. If you Googled like phonics rule for EL versus LE, there's probably a rule. Most everything in English has a rule. Sometimes there's rule breakers, but most of them have rules. So there's probably some phonics rule about why the spelling is that way. Because it would be spelled the first way, MODEL. So we're just spelling, but it's pronounced the same way. Okay. Different meaning.
So teachers, how about Nike and Nike, N-I-G-H-T, Nike, and K-N-I-G-H-T, Nike?
Yes, so they're pronounced the same way. The first one without the K is just like nighttime, right? It's not day. And the one with the K is like a soldier in the olden times, like with castles and things. At least that's my understanding of the knights in like American fairy tales. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, so it says, could you tell me the different meaning of binary life and dilemma? I am also confused. You said I felt kind of confused. I'm agreeing with you, Daisy. Me too. I don't know what binary life is. I mean, binary is like, isn't that like two? I mean, bi is two. Binary. I'm looking it up.
Like maybe sometimes like we feel like having a binary life because like we have to choose two things, and yeah, we don't know what to choose because we like both of them, like those things. And dilemma is also kind of the same, but yeah.
No, I guess dilemma means a difficult situation or problem.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm learning things, guys. I love getting to learn from you guys. I had never heard of binary life before. I know what dilemma means. It's like a problem or a difficult situation. You can't really figure out what to do. So excellent. Thank you for sharing that. But I'd never heard of binary life. But yeah, it looks like you know the definition. It's like having to see life and situations as like choices, like you can either choose one way or the other way, and you like have to choose, and you're not really happy with either choice, but you have to choose. So it's very similar to dilemma. I don't really know like the context you would use binary life in, because I honestly have never heard it. It's probably just
in biology, the binary life means evolution of life.
Okay.
Evolution of life.
Okay, so like the evolution of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First changes of life, like the process or the living things.
Yeah. Okay, then that would make sense. You would like use it in that context too. Awesome. People use dilemma a lot for just like, I'm in a difficult situation. What am I supposed to do? I'm in a dilemma. Yeah, those are good questions. Is the word row used as an argument instead of row as an adult in an argument? No. Oh, like you're in a row with some. Y'all, I'm gonna be so smart by the end of this class because of you. I'm looking it up. I'm sorry, you all can just look this up. You don't need me to look it up. Okay, let's see. A number of people doing things in a straight line, rows of theater, etc. Okay, let's see if there's other definitions. Horizontal line. Okay, in the dictionary, it's just like rowing a boat or things in a straight line. However, because yes, the third definition, I guess it's British, is what this dictionary says, which is why I haven't thought of it, but I have read a lot of books. And when you brought it up, I remember like reading about people having a row in a book for an argument, but you would not hear that in just like everyday American English ever. As for having an argument, that's like old English, or I guess in Britain. But yeah, so in America, we use it for like planting things in a row, or the seats are in a row, something in a straight line, or stand in a row, or like rowing a boat, paddling a boat. Yeah, good question. I'm learning things. I hope you're learning things. I'm learning things. Device and devise. Good. So device with a C. It's interesting because it's actually the S sound, and then the S we pronounce as a Z. English is weird. So device is typically used in technology nowadays. So like my computer is a technological device, but device is just any sort of instrument or tool that you would use to complete some sort of task. It's a device. It's another word for like tool. And then devise means to like create or come up with an idea. Sometimes it can be used negatively, like being devious, like behind someone's back, or like trying to take advantage of someone, like I'm devising a plan to like do something like harmful, or like catch you doing something bad, or I don't know, devise. So usually it's kind of a negative connotation of like being sneaky about it. It's a win-win situation. I like that. So at my school, we have a system of Stephen Covey, if you've heard of him. It's like a person who has like developed systems for businesses, and one of them is like the 7 habits. It's like highly effective habits for, or like 7 habits for highly effective people or something, and they've tailored it for schools. So our school is like a Leader in Me school, so we use these habits. And habit number 4, if my students were here, they could tell you all about it, is having a win-win situation. So all that means is that there's an abundance mentality where if I have something good, you also can have something good, or if I succeed, you also can succeed. That like if I succeed, you don't have to lose. And if I lose, you don't have to win. Like we can both win. We can both succeed in life, and we can both come to a conclusion. Like a lot of times, like in arguments, like my students, yeah, there you go, Teacher Tiang. My students, I use it a lot because, you know, kids get in arguments, and I say, how can we come to a win-win conclusion or win-win situation where we can both be happy, right? And so they'll be like, oh, we can get another piece of paper and write our story together, or, you know, we can apologize to each other and play with this other person, or whatever. Like both parties win, both parties succeed. Yes, good question. That's very near and dear to my heart. I liked that one. What does it mean to get on top of? That means to like, here's another phrase for you, put all your ducks in a row. That means to like do the jobs that you need to do, and you've been usually putting off, and you're gonna get on top of them, and you're not gonna let them overwhelm you anymore, and you're gonna get your to-do list done, and you're gonna get your tasks done. Swift and switch. So it's pronounced swift with that F-T, swift, and switch. We don't really pronounce the T in the second one, just the ch-ch sound. So swift and switch. Swift means to be fast, switch means to like switch something out. I don't know, like move stuff around. I don't know how to define that very well. Suit, S-U-I-T, is suit. Suit. Knot and knots, they're spelled, or they're exactly the same. So like night and nights, the K is not pronounced, or like no and no, the K is not pronounced. Most of the time, in fact, maybe all of the time, although rule breakers, so be wary of that. But I think all of the time in English, when there is a K before an N, the K is silent. So not and not are exactly the same. What's the meaning between normal and simple? Normal means like the accepted norm, like people expect for it to be that way. It's very normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary or unusual. It's normal. Simple means that it's not complicated, that it's easy to do. If used derogatorily, like if you're like you don't want to call someone simple, very like, unless you could say that you're a simple person, that like you don't like clutter, you like things like to be neat and orderly, but like people can also use it in like a mean way of like you're simple, meaning like you're dumb and you can't like think complex thoughts, so you wouldn't want to use it like that. But normal is just like what's expected, there's nothing unusual. Simple is like it's really easy, it's not complicated. Word and world. So the first one, W-O-R-D, is word, word. And the second one, W-O-R-L-D, is world, world. So you have to add that L sound in it. So word and world, word and world.
Miss, what is the meaning of do your nut? In a movie I had, like in an argument, there's an argument and the mom said to her daughter, like, do your nut, do your nuts. And she get very angry.
Do your, I can't
Nut.
hear the last word. How do you spell it?
N-U-T, nut.
M-O.
N-U-T.
I don't know. I'll look it up. I don't know. Sometimes, I will say this, sometimes in movies or television shows or things like that, they use like, because you know, they're trying to like make it catchy and entertaining and stuff. They don't always use like common phrase, or maybe I just don't know this one. As we've discovered, I certainly don't know everything. Uh-huh.
Idiom.
Is it an idiom? I'm sure it is. I guess it means to be extremely angry or agitated. They say that it's British, so maybe that's why I haven't heard it. Yeah, because like American slang and idioms is different. Some of them is different from British ones, so that's probably why I haven't heard it. But yeah, so it says it means to be like really, really angry. That's a good one. Okay, let me see. I lost my place. Okay, word, world. What about, whoa, I'm losing my spot. Okay, here it is. Weak and wake. So W-E-A-K is weak, E-E-E. Most of the time, E-A makes the E sound. So weak and then wake. Most of the time, when there's a vowel, consonant, vowel, particularly when there's an E at the end, vowel, consonant, E, the E makes the first vowel, say it's like long vowel name A. So weak and wake.
Teacher, may I know what the difference between accuracy and precision?
The difference between what?
Accuracy and precision.
Accuracy. What was the second word?
Precision. P-R-E-C-I-S-I-O-N, precision.
Oh, precision. Got it. Got it. Accuracy and precision. Accuracy, the difference between them. Accuracy more has to do with like facts, that it's true, that it's real, it's factual. Precision more has to do with the ability to do something precisely. I can cut the concrete with precision, very cleanly. I don't think there's a big difference, but I feel like precision